Hi, it's Matt Kendall here once again. It's the 26th of July. I don't know how it's July. It seems to have gone a bit quickly then. I'm here with Katie today. Katie's just completed her case studies. She sent them to me today and also booked in with me straight away. So it's a very swift process right there. So, Katie, before we get into this, please can you tell the viewers a bit about your background, what kind of work and stuff that you're involved in?
Okay, so a bit of my background. So I've got my own company called The Dogs Code, which is a company which I specialise in sausage dogs, so Dachshunds, and the training and behaviour of them. Obviously, I'm working with the owners a lot of the time, and owners' top issues that I deal with are stress, embarrassment, frustration, lack of confidence. So in turn, the owners need something as well.
Hmm. So you work with sausage dogs, which I always found have a very disproportionately loud bark for the size of the animal. You know what I mean? They have quite a characteristic loud bark. And you're working with the owners, so it's dog training, basically, behavioral dog training. Um, so you have no previous therapy training, if that's correct.
No, I've got no previous therapy training. Prior to the business, I was a police officer for 11 years.
Okay.
Policing prior to that as well. So yeah, no, nothing therapy related.
So nothing therapy related. So how do you go from dog training to doing IEMT? What was take us through how you what was the story there?
Okay, so I was a IEMT client and experienced IEMT firsthand, should we say? And it got me thinking that the anxious owners that I deal with, I was running patterns of anxiety myself throughout just policing, really. So the things that I'd seen, the things that I'd experienced, the memories that I'd got, the feelings towards policing. So that helped me to come through that. And I sat and thought one day, how can I improve the services that I offer as a business owner? And I came up with the thought of actually I can help owners as well.
Mm.
And I also get owners that have experienced their dogs being attacked, which then spirals a bit out of control because then they don't want to take the dogs out because they're anxious, and then they're feeding off one another. So I needed a way to be able to help, really, to give them an option to be able to work on themselves as well as their dogs, because I have clients where their dogs can do everything from backflips and everything else that you want them to do, but the owners are just a mess. So just to give them some extra support. So I've had a look down the route of kind of light hypno and visualization work to help them visualize the walks that they want to go on and that kind of thing. But I just felt that IEMT was a little bit more specific in relation to dealing with the issues that they're having.
And what was the connection to me then? Was it the practitioner who told me, or was it through your own research, or?
A bit of both, really. So I initially bought Sonia's book. So I bought the book and read Sonia's book, and then reached out to Sonia, who then put me in contact with yourself. So I came through you. Again, that was quite a thick and fast process as well, because it was kind of the course was happening then.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just hopped on.
It was, if I remember correctly, wasn't it about 2 days beforehand? Because of somebody, yeah, that's right. Because all my courses generally tend to sell out, and I like to have even numbers just because it's easier for the practice sessions. And I think somebody, because you were there saying, let me know, and then somebody did drop out for, I don't know, some reason. So you joined straight away then, which is good. So you wouldn't have had the full effect, because I send out all the information usually a week beforehand. So you didn't have as long to prepare.
I think I had maybe 8 or 10 hours.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was actually out. I was just about to tuck into a burger, and he rang, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's great. Send it over." So I had from maybe 6 p.m. that evening, and then the course started the next day. So I was watching all your videos and trying to get all ahead of what I was actually doing.
Now, I want to explain to people watching this is not normally the case. People do usually have a full 7 days beforehand. So you've never been through a therapy training. I'm sure, obviously, you've done a huge amount of training being in the police force, you know, doing and learning. I assume that you must have learned dog training. There must have been some kind of
Sure, yeah, I've
yeah,
got
yeah.
a process of
So
learning
yeah,
both training and behaviour. It's very closely with,
yeah,
well, to be honest. And obviously I've interviewed lots of people when they've
yeah,
been the body language side of it.
yeah. So you've done lots of other trainings, just nothing therapy specific. So I'll throw a load of questions at you, then we'll kind of go through them again. So I know the pre stuff it doesn't really well, you've still got the materials. So what was it like the pre-material stuff? What was it like going through the course as somebody without any therapy training experience as well? So what did you think about the demonstrations, the explanations, and the practice time? What was your overall experience of the course and working with the people, and how has the aftercare support been? So basically, what was it like from beginning to end of going through the course?
Okay, so the initial, obviously, when you sent me all the info over, I did have limited time, but mattered not really because I was going. I watched as many of the videos and clicked as many of the links as I possibly could. And I found the practitioner manual. So there's the pre-course and then the manual. I found the manual super helpful. But then the actual course on the day. So everything was step by step. Everything was you could pretty much follow, which I was doing. So you obviously can't see, but behind my camera, there's a screen there. So I have the manual open on that screen.
Yes.
I was watching you here and following you there. So in terms of the content of the pre-course material, fantastic. I can't fault it, even though I would have liked to have had a little bit more time to go through it, which I have since gone back in and had a look to see if I've missed in there. The manual, I would say, is like a Bible. It's there. It's all there alongside Sonia's book. So both of them combined are really, really, really helpful. Delivery of the course. So obviously you deliver it. It was like great. You've got your little comedy bits in there, which keep you entertained along the way. The theories, the practicals, very simplistic, more simplistic than I really expected them to be. I thought there was going to be this really complex. I'm not really sure. I don't really know what I was expecting, but I thought it would be more complex than it actually is, because it is a case of it's black and white. You follow this, you do this.
Oh, trust me, there are ways of teaching it where it is like that. Which what my approach is I wanted to break everything down into small bits and everything's usable. And the reason why I like to make it entertaining is for two reasons, really. One, because I know you haven't done therapy training, but a lot of therapy training is very boring and heavy. And dealing with a lot of therapy trainers of like, well, a bit of megalomania kind of going in. And it's all about them and how much do they know? And they don't really do any demonstrations or anything, something which I find quite interesting. And also, you retain more information when you're having fun. So if you're just sat there being lectured to for a long time, you're just not going to take much stuff in. Exactly. But if you're having fun and doing lots of actual practical stuff, you retain more. So you have already you've had experience receiving IEMT. How did you find the actual breakout sessions and actually using IEMT? How was that for you?
That was really, it was eye-opening. You almost wanted that more. You wanted to do more. So you'd go into your setting, your session rather, so your little breakout room, person there. And interestingly, working in a group where I think it was quite mixed with backgrounds in terms of some had backgrounds in therapy. I think a high percentage had therapy backgrounds and a smaller percentage didn't. But working with people that are doing therapy on a daily basis was a little bit daunting. But I was like, well, everybody's here. Everybody's here doing the same thing. So I'll just read off my screen. I'll make the notes. and we'll see how it goes. And actually, it was really nice to be able to practice in a safe environment where you could come back into the main room and then say, this has happened. Why did this happen? What should I have done in this situation? And actually get that feedback straight away, rather than there's your course, off you go, and never hear from you again. So it's really nice, a nice way to have the theory, the practical, and the feedback, which that's, for my brain, that's how I work anyway. So that's a really nice way of working.
And what I want to do is I want to get, by the end of the course, I want to get people excited to go out and using it. I don't want it to be seen as this huge amount of information. If I need to process this for 2 weeks before no, just do bits. You know, the thing is with IEMT, it's all, I think there's like about 8 different things that are taught within the weekend. Each one of them can be used individually, or they can be used sort of together. And afterwards, how's the aftercare support and community been as well?
Great. We've obviously had contact within the WhatsApp group. I've used that quite a bit to, I've arranged and met up with, I say met up, kind of, well, and practiced with other people that were on the same course. So that's been really nice, because it's a friendly face that you know that everybody's at that same level. And what we did in there was, if there was 3 of us, then one would be the client, one would be the practitioner, and one would be the observer, and that observer would then give feedback both sides. So that was a really nice way of working, and a way to build your confidence as well. Because you don't just want to go straight out and pluck a client and go, here we go, can we deal with you today? Aftercare wise, fine. Like, if there's a question, the question's been answered in a timely manner. The Facebook group I've used to search in there, so I look around phobias and things like that, around specifically for dog phobias, but how is the best way to deal with that sort of thing. Got some great feedback, got some great comments on there, watched some great videos from yourself and other people that have commented on there as well. So that was really helpful. And then I've just gone out and had a play, really, and found out what bits that I enjoy doing, and the more that I've practiced, the more I've become a bit more confident. And I say a bit confident because there's still a way to go, but I feel confident in what I'm doing so far.
Good. And that's it. It's like with because I've been on courses before, and once the course ends, that's it. And I don't think that's really acceptable these days. So everyone that goes through the course, you get put into a peer group of your peers on WhatsApp, and that's always sort of quite active, and people are chatting, meeting up, and also sharing your wins and sharing issues and questions. And when a good question comes up in there, I will tend to make a video response to it in the group. But I do Facebook Lives, not every day. I'd say about 3 times a week I'll do a Facebook Live around something, and it's usually around the troubles that people are having. And then once, did you come or see the support thing I did last week?
Coaching one? No, I've not seen that yet. I need to speak to you about how to access that as well. But ideally that would have been great for me, but I committed that evening. So
I'll send you the link. So basically, when you go through the course, I do a monthly, basically like a coaching call, and we focus in on a particular subject. And so it was dealing with difficult clients last week, and I think it was about an hour and a half or something like that. And it's for all my practitioners. I sometimes invite some people who aren't my practitioners as well. And it's just a bit of a deep dive on a particular thing. So sometimes the presentation, sometimes I'll do demonstrations on certain things as well. And it's just getting all your questions answered. And we have a very active Facebook group that's posting there every day. And not just from me, Sonia's in there a lot. There's other trainers. Andy Austin's in there. I don't think he likes things, but I don't think he reposts much. So when somebody asks a question, you'll get my response, but you'll get about 5 or 6 other responses from people. But we've got psychologists, psychiatrists, so counselors, people-centered. You've got loads of different kind of responses, and so there's no just one way of doing something. It's a much more of a collaborative approach, and so you can again use it from the different trainers and stuff in there as well. So you went through the course, you then went and worked with 2 people. You've actually worked with we were saying before, many more people. But you've done your 2 case studies working with 2 different people. Obviously, without giving away sort of any sort of sensitive information, what was it like working with these people, and what kind of results were you able to help generate for these clients?
So just with the case study ones, are we talking about?
Yeah, just for the case. Well, you can talk about the other ones, but just for the case study ones for now, and then other
Sure.
people as well.
So I wanted to have the people that I'd worked with were predominantly female, which one of the case studies is, and I wanted to work with at least one male to see if there was any difference in the way that they came across within the therapy setting, which they did. Just to clear that all up straight away, it was very evident and very obvious the differences going off there.
Yes.
Actually, delivering the sessions wasn't that difficult. So building rapport with somebody, putting them at ease is very natural. It comes very natural to be able to do that with somebody. And then going through the simple pattern. So getting their showing them how it works to give them an insight as to what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
And almost leaving them going, how has that just happened?
Yeah.
What have you just done? Where has it gone? But working with people is it's interesting because you see not only that they've put their trust in you, but what you're giving back to them in terms of once you've done the eye movement patterns, their physical changes, whether that's their facial expression, whether it's actually their body language, or whether it's them actually telling you, a weight's been lifted, I feel much lighter, trying to move themselves around in the chair, that thing. And it's massively rewarding. And I would like, from my point, it's a rewarding therapy to be able to do with somebody and to help them through an issue that they've got, but you're not aware of what it actually is.
Yeah.
The content element is not there. But working on different elements of different feelings that then link into different places, I found it, I'm really intrigued by it still. I'm still very much learning, but enjoying that learning and getting people from kind of a place where they're, and this is for the two case studies, a case where they're sort of anxious and not very sure of themselves, to a place where they're like, I'm doing this. Okay, that's fine.
Brilliant.
You go and do that.
And how did you find the flow of the sessions as well? Because I did create like a bit of a roadmap for both the sessions. So how did you find using all of the tools and the actual flow of the sessions?
Yeah, so I've used your flow chart, so the one that's got the 4 columns on, and I've found myself using the majority of it, but then to kind of wrap up a session, I've just gone into something else to do with people to help just distance maybe the last little part, using like the episodic. So there's almost like an ending or a finish to the session. So there's kind of the start and the open, the middle bit, and always keeping it quite light as well. So I don't want to say having a laugh and a joke with people. That's not what I mean. But bringing people out of that state of they're really concentrating and they're really in that moment. Just to ask them what they're doing for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Just
to bring them back out of that to then go into the next bit and have them think about it again. So just watching how people behave as well. But yeah,
because obviously you'll have a deeper insight into watching people's behavior than most with your police background. And so when you're working with people, what kind of what kind of shifts are you witnessing on a sort of a body language kind of sense of when you're working with people? What's that like?
So I mean, it's great. It's really rewarding for me because I'm watching somebody go from kind of an upset sort of confusion to, and at a body language point, maybe a kind of a hunched over, head down, and only really interacting when I'm speaking, to them being upright, smiling. The whole body looks like it's changed. Obviously, I can't see the whole body because I'm on Zoom, but the whole part of them seems to have changed and be more of a positive light, really.
And there was one, now this wasn't a case study, but if you can just say a little bit about, because it's very relevant to the work that you do. Somebody who you've done some work with had a dog phobia, which was from a very young age, from a memory which they possibly couldn't have had, but it was something their parents told them about. So just say a little bit about that and the result which they've just told you about today, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there's actually 2 results. The other one I didn't actually mention.
Oh, okay.
Talking about, but you will like it, I'm sure. So yes, so this person has had a phobia for all of their life, which I found a bit strange and hard to believe.
Mm.
But I went into the group and I was like, I'm not really sure about this. What do you think? Anyway, on the call, we went through various elements and we worked around fear a lot more. So we worked around some identity and identity of where the dog is and things like that. And after the relevant point here is that this person has had nightmares for as long as they can remember about dogs and dogs attacking, and has been in several circumstances where they've not been pleasant experiences, and it's not been as easy as just walking down the street. So the person's kind of walked down the street and the dog has snapped or snarled, but not actually any physical contact, which have then obviously reinforced what's going on. So she's also had these dreams for as long as she can remember. She's had these dreams. After session 2, so she emailed me today and said that she has managed to walk past 2 dogs. Her heart rate's been a lot less, and she hasn't had, so since the first session, which was 2 weeks ago, she has only had 1 nightmare about dogs.
Brilliant.
Well, that is that's a huge but I'm going to take myself a little pat on the back for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's brilliant, because when it's something like dogs or something, because what we're talking about, if you're scared of sharks, it's quite easy to avoid a shark, or if you're afraid of flying, it's quite easy to avoid flying. If you're scared of, we've had quite a few things, wasps, bees, birds is another common one, through to dogs. They're part of society. They're, you can't escape them. And I was working with a client once, and they specifically bought a flat or a house or something on a corner, so they could see down every road before they left the house. And if there was a dog there, they had to actually work from home in the end because they were late for work so often because of dogs being in the area. And now she doesn't do that, and she just leaves the house. She's not going over and stroking dogs. She's not loving dogs or anything, but she's able to essentially tolerate them. And I think that's what IEMT does. It allows you to have a proportionate response to a stimulus, rather than this disproportionate response of, because most dogs, you're never going to be attacked by a dog in general. In fact, it's so rare that when it happens, it's in the news, and so that's how, rarely it sort of happens, or if you're a postman or something. But for her to be able to actually walk past dogs and stuff, which is something which you would never be able to do. And the thing is, you've not tried to build up her confidence or anything. And so IEMT is very different to, my background's in hypnotherapy. And with hypnotherapy and NLP, you're trying to build something up, build. Now, if you build up the confidence and say she went over to the dog and it snapped at her, she's going to actually be in a much worse position than she was when she started. Because memory's formed when emotion is present and novel value. So something that's different and of higher emotional value. So instead of, by getting them to reduce all of these responses and then going out and doing the thing, they can do the thing again next time and next time and next time. And every time you do the thing, you're laying down continual new memory. So it's just like, all right, I'm not going to go stroke the dog, but I just don't care about the dog, know?
Yeah.
And that's the... Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for spending your time with us. Well, me specifically. If people are interested, if they've got a dachshund, and they want to train the dog and train themselves. What's the best way to get hold of you? What's your website and businesses?
I would say just our normal website, so thedogscode.com. You can come through there. I've not yet set up the well, I wouldn't have done because I've only done it today. I wouldn't.
Right, okay.
So there's nothing set up on there that's going to tell you about IEMT or anything like that on there. But you can just book in a call with me. There's a at the bottom, if you scroll down on services, book a call in. You can just book a call in, we can chat.
And I know that your business is dog training and now also helping the owners. Would you also work with people who are just interested in working with fears and phobias as well, or is that something that you want to stay clear of? What's your intention?
So initially, I want to be dealing with the anxious owner that may have experienced something, or the owner that has got the limiting self-belief around the training. I'm open. I'm open to dealing with phobias of different areas, adults, not children. And just but see where it goes, really. I'm open to options around different areas, and I think never say never, because you don't know what's around the corner.
One very specific dog-related question, and because of the size and the value of dachshunds, do you get dog owners who are anxious from dog nappings?
Not so much now, because it's not as prevalent on social media as what it was during the pandemic.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, people are conscious because they're small, because they're valuable.
Yeah.
General things of keeping your back garden safe and making sure you're out there watching them rather than letting them dig a hole under the fence where they can run off and be taken. But generally speaking.
Yeah. No, it's just because I'm in London where it's a bit more. It's still quite a thing.
Okay.
It's still quite a thing. And one of my friends had a Pomeranian.
Pomeranian, yeah.
So it's like a
fluffy thing.
It's like a small. It's like a toy, really. And she left outside a shop when she went in, just the shop, and she came out and it was no longer there. And she actually worked with the shop owner to retrieve it, and she did get it back. They had to pay a lot of money, but the dog had been through so much shock that its fur had changed something. It was the same dog. It wasn't like they gave him back an Alsatian.
Picked the dog up.
Yeah, but there's a lot of, and also there's that. I think he's called Mizzy or Mizzo or something. He's like a YouTube person. And he does pranks. And he did this thing recently where he picked up somebody's dog and ran away with it. And obviously it causes an awful lot of distress and everything. It's just, I do see quite a few signs and stuff around London. If you have a small dog, valuable dog, please make sure it's with you at all times. There are these gangs, because it's quite a gang-related thing, isn't it? It's not like an opportunist thing. It's like they go out and it's almost steal to order kind of thing. And I think it's just, I was just wondering, just from my own, well, not my own experience, but just from what I've heard and what I kind of seen, because it was quite a big thing in the media, wasn't it, about sort of dog? Yeah. And obviously an awful lot of people got dogs during the lockdown. In fact, I've seen more dogs now on the streets with people than I've ever seen before, ever. Yeah.
There was certainly a massive boom within the pandemic that, not just sausage dogs, but just dogs in general.
Yeah.
Uphill hike. But there's always plenty of dogs to go around. But there's always humans that are anxious with those dogs as well.
Of course. I do find as well that there are more dogs, but less people are going to dog training.
Yeah.
And so people do find the dogs actually died recently, to be fair, but it was a massive, like, Great Dane or something. And the woman who owned it, the lead was so short. I think she held it by its collar. The lead was so short. And she was quite a petite woman. And this dog was probably about 80 kilos. And I thought at any moment that dog could just drag her. She wouldn't be able to do anything about that. At least with a dachshund, You know,
4.5 kilos.
yeah, exactly. Just pick it up if it's being naughty. I think it's really interesting that you're using IEMT in such a specific way, which and the fact that you've come through the course without any prior therapy-based training, that you came and you got the pre-materials later than everyone else as well. That you came through the course, you've handed in your case studies, and today you're becoming a practitioner. So I want to say congratulations and well done for coming through it, and the best of luck for all the future. And if you have any questions, obviously just get in contact on the WhatsApp group, Facebook, or email. And good luck with just what's the name of the company once again? Sorry,
The Dog's Code.
The Dog's Code. Well, thank you very much, Katie, and I'll speak to you later.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you.